Hi guys, it's Hani of Hani here, and today I'm going to show you how to make these floral designs using super easy wet on wet royal icing decorating technique. Let's get started. With edible marker, draw the flower shapes on your cookies. You can see that today I'm using gingerbread cookies, not my classic sugar cookies that I normally use, and you can find a recipe for my gingerbread cutout cookies on my blog hanielas.com. Link is in the description box under this video. And now we can decorate. So I'm using 15-second consistency white royal icing here, and I'm going to outline and flood everything except those flower shapes. I'm going to leave those blank, and we'll fill those once we are done with the white. If you are new to cookie decorating, be sure to check the description box under this video. I put a lot of useful recipe links in there so you guys can check out my recipes, and also tutorials. For example, a tutorial on how to thin royal icing. That is the most common question I get from new cookie decorators. So now we can fill in the flower shapes. I'm using blue. I know these don't look like much at this point, but wait till we start shaping these. So while the icing is wet, you want to drag the white into the blue. This is going to create a subtle separation, and it will look more like a flower petal. Now also don't forget to shape the points. It's really important that you do this fairly quickly. You don't want to leave for 20 minutes and then come back. You want to continue working on this, because once the icing starts crusting, you can really create wet on wet designs. Now we can make the calyx with brown royal icing. And when you're adding small details like this, it's important that the opening on your piping bag is not too big. So make it small rather than big, and then if you need to, you can always cut it bigger. But if your opening is too big, too much icing is coming out at once, and also your lines will appear bulky, because as the icing sinks into the base, it also spreads a little bit. I'm also going to add some leaves. And to the leaves we will be adding middle vein. And to do that, you can use royal icing. You can pick up a small amount of icing on the tip of the scribe and then drag it through the leaf. You can also use a paintbrush if you are more comfortable using a paintbrush. Just make sure that you use food only paintbrush, not a paintbrush that you had previously used with acrylic or oil paints. It needs to be only for food. And now we have to let that dry overnight. So once it dries, we can accentuate and really bring this design to life by outlining with edible marker. This is a rainbow dust dual tip edible marker that I absolutely love. These markers, they come in different colors, but honestly I mostly use black. On occasion I will use blue or maybe red, but mostly it's really black. So if you can get maybe a couple of black markers like this, and you'll be glad you did, because the use for these is pretty much limitless. They're so great for adding facial features and other things as well. So I'm almost done, and I'm also going to add, this was a last minute decision, add another layer of royal icing onto the leaves, just the half of the leaf. This just adds a little bit of dimension, and this icing is about 20-second consistency here. Alright, so this is the first design. We have 2 more designs to go. Now in the second design we're going to create the flowers using dots. So I'm starting with blue royal icing, again 15-second consistency, and immediately pipe your brown dots into the blue. You see how they are sinking in, that's what you want. And then come in with yellow royal icing, again 15 seconds, and pipe the dots around the brown dots. Look how simple and so pretty. In this design, I'm also going to use edible marker. So we have to let this dry overnight, and then you can come back with edible marker. I decided to create a bouquet, so I'm just adding straight lines, making the stems. And that's for the second design, and we are ready for the third one. So in the third design, I'm using yellow for my base color, and this is, I have to say, this is yellow with just a touch of orange to make it a bit more golden. And again, this is 15-second consistency here. Use a scribe to distribute and smooth the icing, and immediately take a brown royal icing and make a branch. And now take blue and make oval shapes at the end of each branch there. Now we can pipe the calyx. Again, you want to work continuously. Don't take a break and then come back and do this, because your icing will be crusted. It's important to do this all at once, and then you can take a break and let it dry. And once it dries, you can then use edible marker and finish this design by outlining and drawing all the details. Now I'm adding another layer of icing here at the top, just to give this design a little bit of dimension. And there. And that's how you can make these beautiful floral cookies using super simple wet on wet royal icing decorating technique. I hope you guys enjoyed this tutorial. Let me know what you think in the comment section. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.